What's going on YouTube? It's Marvel DC Bros, and today we're coming at you with our Flash Season 2 Episode 2 review and why we haven't been posting many videos lately.
So we would like to apologize because we've been pretty absent. We've been making videos actually, but this new camera has kind of taken us for a run. It doesn't record some of the segments. We'll do it 2 or 3 times, and then we'll try to plug it into the computer, and it won't be there. And we've been swamped with school, moving, all that good stuff. So we haven't really had the time, but we just uploaded one video of our theory on who's going to die in Arrow, and we made another video before that saying what we're saying now, but it was unfortunately um, the whole thing wasn't saved, so we just were like, scratch it, we'll say it in this one, etc. So today we're going to give our 5 top moments of last night's Flash episode. We unfortunately do not have the little pads that we have. They were destroyed in the move, but we're going to be making some soon. So today we're just going to use our hands, good, bad, whatever. So our first moment of the night, which was one of my, it wasn't my favorite scene, but it was one of my favorite scenes. It was when Barry and Iris had their little heart to heart. I love them together. I think Candice Patton's very beautiful, and I'm kind of in love with her. And I like Grant Gustin. Besides, he's kind of a douche sometimes, but it's kind of funny. But anyway, that's not really the point of this. But I just really like their scenes together. You can see so much chemistry and emotion, and just like so much history with them, and it just like any scene with them together, I like, and I'm all for. It was just really a good scene.
Yeah, I like the scene a lot too. I was waiting for the first Wes Allen scene of the season, and I'm pretty sure they had a small one in episode 1, but it wasn't like this. And I feel like Iris is going to kind of be Barry's voice of reason this season. When he's down in the dump, she's going to get him out of it and get him to do what he needs to do to, accomplish the task at hand like she did against Grodd. And so I really liked how they're kind of harping on that, and I hope that she becomes more of the voice of reason for Barry and a bigger part of Team Flash as the season goes on.
And it's a little late, but we forgot to do. Got a thumbs up from me. Sucks not having those pads.
So our second moment from this episode is Jay Garrick as a whole in this episode. I I really like Jay Garrick from the comics and everything. And when I first heard that the Flash was going to be bringing on Jay Garrick, I was like, I don't want an old man like mentoring Barry. But they picked the perfect age to put Jay Garrick in because he knows everything about being the Flash, but he's not too old to where like he's out of the other characters' league. I feel like he fits really well with everyone, and that they knocked the casting out of the park, but I don't really like how he doesn't have his speed right now. I know that he's going to get it back at some point in the season, but I feel like aside from teaching Barry, he's kind of useless at this point because he can't help out Barry in the field. So I'm kind of torn on the way that I felt about his him going forward. But in this episode, I loved him because he taught Barry something new, and he became like Barry's mentor. So I really liked him in this episode, and his relationship with Caitlin, I just thought that was really funny because she was hardcore hating on him, and Iris was like, you like him, don't you?" And she's like, "What? No, of course not." But anyway.
Yeah, I loved Jay Garrick. Ever since his helmet popped out of the wormhole, I was like, hell yeah! I was so excited. I can't wait to see more of him. I agree with both of the things he said. I really like how he's younger, and he's kind of like, he's not new to Flash, but he's only been doing it for like, he said, what, 2 years? And he's like helping mentor Barry and teaching him new things. He's kind of has the role of Dr. Wells, which no one can replace. Um, Tom Cavanaugh, which he shall be back this season, so I'm excited to see him. Not the point. But Jay Garrick, he as a whole, I didn't like how he didn't have his speed because I want to see him in action. Like, I'm excited to see that. So, um, yeah, I'm excited to see him. I hope he gets his speed back soon, so we can see him in action. But I really just liked him as a whole, and I really liked the whole Caitlyn and him flirting thing. Like, it was just really funny. I think Caitlyn's a very funny, quirky character, and it was just a funny scene to me. So, thumbs up, double thumbs up actually, because I love Jay Garrick. So the third moment from the episode was Cisco's little, they're not flashbacks, but I guess his metahuman abilities coming together. Thumbs up for me. I hate not having the pads, but uh, thumbs up for me. I was really excited to see him going like not into the future, but having a vision of everything was just really cool, and thought they tied that in well. Like how everything was happening, they're doing it very organically and making it make sense. And I really liked him and Martin together as kind of like team of like ultra brains. Like it was just out of this world. I love Martin Stein and Cisco, so I liked seeing them work together and getting a little hint of Cisco's metahuman abilities.
Yeah, like he said, I really liked Cisco and Stein's relationship in this episode and last week's episode. It's kind of like DC's version of the Science Bros. But, anyways, I really liked how they're developing Cisco's vibe powers. I feel like they brought it in last season, kind of towards the end, how they used the goggles or whatever. And then they introduced the idea that he has, he can feel vibrations of other realities or whatever. And I feel like, they've brought it along very well because in last week's episode he had one, flashback. I can't remember what it was to, but this week he had two of them. And I feel like he was able to sense, what was the metahuman's name?
Sand Demon.
Sand Demon, like when he touched his particles or whatever, it took him to where he was. And I feel like he was able to do that because Sand Demon was from a different dimension. And so it was like he was using the fabric of reality or whatever. He was able to use that to see his power. So it makes sense of why he was able to use them and how he is like learning more about his powers as time goes on, and it's natural. They're not forcing anything, and I really like how they're handling his situation. Our fourth moment from last night's episode was Zoom. We didn't really get, a big, we saw Zoom in action when he was fighting against Jay Garrick, and that was really awesome because you got to see Zoom in like his full capacity, running. He almost killed Jay Garrick until they were sucked up into the wormhole. And you also saw him when he threw Sand Demon down, saying that, he wants Barry Allen dead. And why he wants Barry Allen dead? Because he wants to be the only speedster. He wants to be able to control time and have every aspect of the Speed Force in his hand. And he knows he can't do that with Barry around. So it's making sense of why he hates Barry, and that's what I feel the Flash has done so well in the season 1 and now starting in season 2 is their story flows so cohesively and they make it a complete story. It's not like a half-assed version of a story like how they were in Arrow, and they like develop a story in one episode, then like 7 episodes later they pick it back up, and it's like this doesn't make any sense. But in every episode of The Flash, they build on the current story, which makes it better. They're never going to just drop a storyline after one episode and then be like, 5 episodes later, be like, oh, hey, yeah, we forgot about this, so let's just do it because we're out of ideas. And so I feel like having Zoom in this episode showing why he hates Barry and why he wants him dead just builds on Zoom's story, and it just makes it flow a lot better.
I give Zoom a thumbs up. I really liked how they're not giving him away too much. They're just showing like little tidbits of who he is and what his purpose is, and I like that. They're not like overshooting him or anything. They're just kind of like making him kind of in the background, and I really liked that. And I like how he reminds me a lot of Dr. Wells, kind of, but he doesn't have that persona where he's hiding who he is. He's just like, I must kill Barry Allen, be ultimate. So I really liked that, and that's why I give that scene a thumbs up, or his scenes together. Our fifth moment of the night was when it was like Jay Garrick and Barry's little team up at the end, when Barry threw the lightning at the Sand Demon and he turned to glass. That was probably my favorite scene from the episode. Got like a quadruple thumbs up, 4 hands. It was just a really cool episode. I loved seeing them work together. and I thought it was cool how he could create lightning and throw it, and I really loved at the end when they were like jogging to Patty, and it was just like a comic book parallel reference. It just that's why I love the Flash so much more than Arrow, is because they actually stick to the comic books. And not just stick to the comic books. They give you like little Easter eggs and teases of the comic books, and that's what I love. I love seeing that stuff and being able to geek out and be like, heck yeah, comics rock. So yeah, I was really excited. It was a great scene. Overall, great episode.
Yeah, I really liked that scene too. You know, when he threw the lightning at him, and I knew when Barry was training and he kept missing, I knew that he was gonna get it at the end because that's just kind of how it was. But it was still freaking awesome. Like you knew it was gonna happen. You knew he wasn't going to miss. But when it happened, you were like a little kid on Christmas. You just saw it and you're like, it hit your fanboy spot, and I was like jumping up and down. It was freaking amazing. And then the scene got better when Barry and Jay were running at Patty. I mean, he's right when what he said. Flash is better than the Arrow because they make nods to comics, and it's just I feel like Flash is better because it hits your geek spot, but that's not the point of this moment. The point of this moment was Barry hitting San Demon with the lightning, which was freaking awesome. And I just can't wait to see Flash gain more powers like that and just freaking geek out while watching it.
So overall, I'll give this episode an A. Really enjoyed it. I loved everything about it, and they introduced Patty, I thought, so well, and they're helping her flow into the storyline, and I like that they introduced Jay so well. Martin fits right in. I really miss Eddie. It's really not important, but I miss Tommy too. But it was a good episode.
Yeah, going off of what he said, except for the last point about Tommy, because this is The Flash, it gets a 93 for me because they're able to do the villain of the week, but still develop the overall villain of the season. And I feel like that's Flash's cup of tea. I mean, people got mad last season because they were like, oh, they're doing the villain of the week. When are they going to bring in the Reverse Flash? But what they didn't know is every episode they brought the Reverse Flash along. And I feel like every episode so far they've brought Zoom along, and they're doing a really good job of tying Jay, Patty, and everyone else into the story, and they're handling all these characters so well, which is just exciting to see what happens because them progressing the story is what it's all about, and they're doing a great job with it so far. So I loved this episode.
So I would just like to say thank you so much for watching. Act sincerely to one another.
And we'd like you guys to check out our channel and subscribe for more DC and Marvel videos. And this has been Marvel DC Bros, signing out.